Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Today's guest is Joanne Soccard, an Associate Solicitor specialising in personal injury and disease claims with Lamb Brooks LLP in Basingstoke. She helps clients injured through someone else's negligence to get back on their feet literally and financially following accidents, or where they were diagnosed with a disease caused by other people's negligence. She has over 15 years of experience and works for a full-service high street firm who've been serving their clients for over 200 years. Welcome, Joanne.
Thank you, Richard.
Describe your perfect client. Who do you help, Joanne?
To be honest, Richard, it's really anybody. We have a range of children, adults, even personal representatives for a deceased person's estate. The only criteria, obviously, is that they've had an accident or suffered from a disease where some other party was at fault, and it's within the last 3 years.
Okay. How do you help them, Joanne? What are the 2 or 3 problems, real or perceived, that you solve for them? Why would be interested in what you have to say?
As you can imagine, Richard, the law is a minefield for the layperson. Unfortunately, we see that every day in the courts, and more where you have litigants in person trying to bring their own claims or to defend claims. The district judges throughout the county courts are pretty good with trying to guide them through the process. But obviously, if you have somebody who is a professional helping you, then it makes it so much easier. A personal injury case where the facts can seem quite straightforward can actually lead to a whole host of problems, such as, for example, the identity of the defendant, what claims can actually be, what losses can be claimed for, what the symptoms and the injuries actually are that have been caused by the accident. When the defendant decides to obtain permission for their own medical evidence, then things can get way out of control. And obviously, when it's too complex for a client to deal with it themselves, that's something where we would step in and deal with it for them. An experienced personal injury lawyer, like myself, for example, will guide clients through the claims at a time when they're in pain or they're suffering from financial hardship. And that can often, as you can imagine, Richard, cloud someone's judgment. Quite often it's been proven that a personal injury lawyer will actually get a higher award for a claimant, usually somewhere in the region of sort of 25 to 35% higher than if they dealt with the claim themselves. So as a claimant, because you're entitled to free independent legal advice under a no-win, no-fee agreement, then the obvious question is, why wouldn't you take it? Sure.
So how do you solve their problem? What is your magic, your expertise? Why do they become your client?
Well, initially, it all starts out as a fact-finding mission. You need to determine exactly what your client wants and what their short and long-term needs are. So years of experience means that you've usually seen this kind of similar claim before, so you can second-guess what the outcome would be and exactly what your client needs. In our particular area, we've obviously got a network of great contacts that we can use, especially medical, so that we can advise the client who to go to for the best treatment. And of course, we can always ask the third-party insurer to pay for it privately. So this means that you don't have the long wait on the NHS that you would normally have.
Okay. What are the 1 or 2 popular misconceptions about personal injury claim service you provide, or the results it produces?
Well, many people, as soon as you mention a lawyer, they automatically think, I can't afford it. The service is going to be too expensive for me. Since 1999 in the UK, there's been an abolition of legal aid for personal injury claims. So this means that they now all run under what we call a conditional fee agreement. In common terms, that's a no-win, no-fee agreement that obviously the man in the street has heard of. So there's no cost to claimants whatsoever. Under the new system that started in April 2013, there is a deduction from damages where the claim is successful. However, if your claim is not successful, or if we say to you, I don't think you're going to win, I think you need to withdraw from the claim, then there is no cost whatsoever. So when it comes to results, though, many clients' views on damages are also tainted by the American legal system. That's generally through TV legal series. You see £1 million damages payouts, especially in things like tobacco litigation. We don't have punitive damages in the UK, so that means that £1 million payouts here are very, very rare. So when it comes to assessing the amount of damages, then the claimant will only in the UK be put back into the position that they would have been before the accident. It's not about making profit, it's about getting something that you're actually legally entitled to. So with clear English and without any jargon and a friendly and no-nonsense approach, I always promise to keep my clients fully updated and to navigate them through the whole claims and court process from start to finish. I won't give you unrealistic advice, I will give you the best advice. And it's always the client's case, Richard, so you have to remember this is not about what I want or what my advice is, it's about keeping the client fully involved all the way. I have to try and always stand in their shoes so that the advice that I can give is tailored to their own particular and personal circumstances. But it also has to be realistic. So whilst you might want £1 million payout, unfortunately, if your claim doesn't merit it, then I have to tell you that straight away. Because the last thing that either of us would want is a surprise. And trust me, that's true for me as well as the client.
Sure. What do you think is the main reason that a person you can help most decides not to become your client? Is it price, time commitment? What others would you think of? Not convinced you can get a result for them?
I think, to be honest, Richard, it's probably a mixture of various reasons. Time is certainly a big factor. I'll never lie to my clients. Right from the outset, I will tell them that this whole process can take months, if not years. It very much depends on the amount of damages, the amount of recovery they've already seen, and whether the insurers are going to admit or deny liability right from the beginning. Insurers will often try and curtail the amount of damages liability being paid out to a claimant. So this means that they will sometimes come in with a lower offer than the claim is actually worth, but it's a quick or a fast buck that the claimant will make. But getting the right amount takes time, and you have to wait to see the full impact of your damages. It's not about the lawyer trying to string it out. It's about making sure that you get the right settlement for you on a full and final basis, because once the claim is finished, it's over and you can't go back for any more. Unfortunately, though, we do live in a world where people can be a little bit impatient and they don't always want to invest too much time and energy into something. So time really is a big factor, I think, as to why people decide not to instruct a lawyer or to come with us. A personal injury claim is something that really does need clients' input because it is their claim. But you can also think that price is a major factor as well. Solicitors all act in the UK now under a no-win, no-fee basis for personal injury claims because the legal aid abolition has taken place. But the deduction from damages for a successful claim is something that's negotiable. The Law Society says a maximum of 35% should be taken from clients' damages, but obviously that's a maximum. There's no minimum. So you get quite a lot of firms that around the country that will take less than 35%. And generally, if it's a good claim, there's no reason why they shouldn't. But it's something that needs to be negotiated between the lawyer and the client. What I would say, Richard, as you can imagine, is it can be a false economy. If you go purely for price as a client and you accept a law firm that's going to give you a lower percentage, it also means that you probably will not get the service that you require. Everything, any kind of commodity nowadays or any kind of service is all value for money. If I deal with your claim with a very small profit margin, it means that I will probably not invest the time that your claim deserves. So we're here to take out the fear of a scary and painful situation, something that can have devastating consequences for the whole family. So don't think about the time it's going to take. Don't think about the money. Just instruct the right solicitor that you're happy to go with, because you're entitled to a free and professional opinion. So ask for help.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Joanne, for taking time to answer the questions and explain personal injury claims. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, Joanne.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.